someone who has unique insight into the GSA and the transition process is Denise Turner Roth. As head of the GSA under President Obama, it was Ms. Turner Roth who ascertained the results of the 2016 election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. She did so on November 9th, 2016, one day after the election, triggering the official start of the transition period for then-President-elect Trump. Joining us now, Denise Turner Roth. She served as the head of the General Services Administration under President Obama from 2015 until Donald Trump's inauguration in 2017. Ms. Turner Roth, thank you for being with us this evening. Suddenly your role that not many people knew about has become so important, so we need to understand it. You had the same role in 2016 of deciding when to ascertain the election results for Donald Trump. What factors back then did you rely on to make that determination to sign the paper to get the transition started?
Well, thank you for having me this evening. It's good to be with you. There were a number of advisors and our general counsel that we were able to take a look at what actually was the circumstance. And we were looking at some key aspects. What had the states called the election? What were the major networks actually reporting? And actually overnight, there was a concession as well. And so that made the direction much more clear. But we didn't have to have a concession in order to go forward.
What's the issue here? There's been a lot of focus on things like office space, but clearly the Biden administration can fiddle around and do that somewhere else. What's the main risk of a lengthy delay in ascertaining the results?
And actually, I think some of the reporting you did before I came on really pointed to it. The GSA is in the role of the actual transition of all of government, not just the GSA space, not just the email addresses, but actually accessing the leadership of agencies, having those agencies be available and responsive to the transition leadership teams, having the meetings, the policy debriefings. All of those activities will occur as a part of the new government getting ready to come in and take over. None of those steps, or many of those steps, and I think the reporting shows it, are happening at this moment because of the movement of the lack of movement of the transition. The ascertainment truly has a key part, and it goes well beyond the office space.
I think you make an important point. It's not the General Services Administration of the transition. It's the General Services Administration of the United States government. It is all the buildings. It's all the keys. It's all the passwords. It's all the computers. And it's all the access to the important information. We used to think about this in a post 9/11 world as security related, right? Is there a national security risk? But now we're in the COVID pandemic. So we actually need the incoming administration to have as much access as possible, the briefings necessary, the intelligence necessary to make the right decisions.
That's correct. And the reason the Presidential Transition Act was put into place is to allow for the smooth transition of government to occur. Prior to having that, sometimes the transitions wouldn't occur at all, or they would be haphazard. And each time that there's been refinement of the law, it's been to ensure that that transition happens as quickly, as smoothly as possible. At the end of the day, the smooth transition of government, the accurate running of our country, the efforts that move forward to ensure one president moves in, another president comes into place are key at this moment. None of those activities can happen until these efforts are taken, until the ascertainment is achieved. And at the same time, there's also the importance of understanding there's a limit here. There's 77 days between the election day and the inauguration day, and the clock is ticking.